Salgo pa' la calle, solo espero que los míos nunca me fallen. Y si me fallan voy a dispararles, porque no fueron amigos, no fueron leales. Por el billete pierden amistades, el enemigo llega de frente y por la espalda solo el cobarde. Salgo pa' la calle, solo espero que los míos nunca me fallen. Y si me fallan voy a dispararles, porque no fueron amigos, no fueron leales. Por el billete pierden amistades, el enemigo llega de frente y por la espalda solo el cobarde. Salgo pa' la calle sin saber si regresaré, si estaré bien. Yo sé que mi Dios me va a proteger y mi santa muerte me cuida también. Aquí nadie es eterno, tú decides si el cielo o el infierno. Arriba vuelo y abajo me quemo, nos moriremos malos o buenos. Si te caigo mal pues me vale verga, soy mejor que tú, eso me dijo tu beba. Le encanta este moreno piel canela, tú quieres ser como yo pero al flow no le llegas. Por mujeres no compito, solo quieren pito. Mejor hago feria y me compro mis lujitos. Nací pobre pero voy pa' rico, una casa pa' mi vieja y pa' mi viejo un ranchito. Vivo pa' ser exitoso y por eso le chingo. Si me caigo me levanto y pura madre me rindo, porque solo pierde el que se da por vencido. Y yo soy un ganador, estoy bendecido. Por mi culpa mi madre llora, a los santos le pone veladoras, pa' que me cuiden a todas horas. Estoy vivo pero no tengo cora, mucho menos sentimientos. Me han fallado varias, por eso amor ni siento. Las palabras se las lleva el viento, así como la vida se acaba en cualquier momento. No olvido de dónde vengo, pero sé pa' dónde voy. El dinero no me cambia, por eso soy lo que soy. Lo que no aprendí en escuela, la calle me lo enseñó. Y gracias a la pobreza soy un hombre de valor. En mi cintura fajada una glow, no se me despega, me da protección. Si la saco está lista pa' la acción. Clic, ando sobre la misión.
Este callejón no tiene salida y mis homies no tienen saliva. ¿Cómo le vamos a hacer? Usted diga. Puede salir bien sin ninguna herida. Entre el cielo y el
Maldito sea todos estos perros gringos, todos. Y que las maldiciones de Dios lleguen hacia ellos.
Cuando me activo saco el cuerno de chivo. Todo lo que digo yo lo he vivido, haciendo oraciones entre mis suspiros. Muerte por un gringo es negativo y sigo. Estamos en guerra con estos gabachos, hijos de perra, y espera. Ellos son de Inglaterra, en barcos llegaron a nuestra tierra, se aferran que somos ilegales, que toda nuestra raza son criminales. Corrales es donde nos encierran, sin causa, motivo, nos encierran. Quisieran acabar con nuestra gente, pero aquí estamos hasta el presente, y muerte es lo que está presente. Unida nuestra gente, la raza está más fuerte. La escuela israelita, donde no corremos con edomitas. Todo de la Biblia ellos predican, y a toda nuestra gente se le avisa.
Ha llegado lo que esperan, guerra mundial tercera, que todos los gringos se caigan y mueran. Cobro condenas y ya sacarlo ordena, con líricas mortales prosigue el asalto. No somos cobardes ni menos cristianos, crúcense la línea y en corto los castro. Malditos gaballos cazan nuestros pasos. Así es, raza, si no los conoce les presento a Satanás, porque todos los putos son de la Ku Klux Klan. Así es, mi gente, póngase trucha, no me ande ellos iconeando quiénes somos nosotros para andar hincando a toda la bola de pendejos.
Jehová, tu Dios, te ha escogido para hacerle un pueblo especial.
Jehová tu Dios te ha escogido para hacerle un pueblo especial. Un pueblo. No está hablando de los chinos, no está hablando de los árabes, no está hablando de los japoneses, de nosotros. Nosotros somos la gente más odiada en este mundo, más odiada. Y toda la gente de
Christianity will teach you to love the oppressor and hate the oppressed.
Orla, hey, what's going down? Raza Shalom, Israel. Just give me 1 second. We about to get started, y'all. This is another Wednesday night. You're tuning into La Pura Neta, you know, our UPK, La Pura Neta podcast. That's how you can find us on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram, and any other social media platform. Of course, this is La Pura Neta, where we talk about Raza issues, Raza solutions, Raza problems, anything Raza, you know what I mean? And we do this every Wednesday night. Usually we start at 9:30, but of course, you know, sometimes we get some, you know, we got to start a little later with this truth. I mean, if y'all come in here and learn the truth, right, you come to learn that Israel never really kept time like that. We say 9:30, we mean 1 in the morning. It's like, but but that's just like we start when we start, and we here another Wednesday night, and we're gonna talk about current events, that affect us. We'll talk about what nobody else wants to talk about. So we're gonna do this every Wednesday night. We here, and of course, I got my carnal right here, Mighty Priest and Officer 500 Kamada. Just got done teaching the Mexico class. He does a wild job. Waking up the Raza in Mexico. Shout this
Hey,
carnal
Shalom,
out.
Kana.
Hey, Shalakana Yabashir
Shabakatah.
going on with you, priest?
Like you were expounding, I just got done teaching the class, literally.
No sweat. What is it? This work don't stop, man.
Kana.
As Cap would say, it's not enough work.
Not enough, yeah.
Yeah. So what we want, what I was thinking of touching on tonight, is of course what happened in Baltimore. I know you're familiar with what happened in Baltimore, carnal.
I seen the story, and but I have not went into it myself.
God, it's
I've
crazy.
seen
Like the
images,
footage. Yeah, go ahead, carnal.
and then what was it? Was it because of a shipwreck?
God. So I don't know
They
if
were
you see
filming
what
a
was that
movie or
movie
something, right?
called? Yeah, it's a movie that just came out on Netflix not too long ago. It's about a family. They go to stay like at an Airbnb at some mansion, and all of a sudden things start going crazy with
Oh,
technology.
what's so like? What's the movie you watched? It's a lot of kind of, huh?
No sweat. If y'all can remember and remind me, man, I forgot the name of the movie. Anybody in the audience remember that name of the movie on Netflix, right? About the family that goes and stays at that Airbnb. You find out it's a Judite man and his daughter that own the house. What's it called?
End of the world.
End
Yeah,
of the world.
the end of the world. Okay, yeah, Khan was just asking
The
about
end
Red.
of the world, right?
Khan.
And there's a scene in there where there's a ship right in the middle of the ocean, and out of nowhere the ship just runs aground on the beach, right? And there's another scene where the Teslas, right? All the cars. I think Captain Mashak made a post about it, but all the cars, right? Like all the Teslas start going crazy and start crashing into each other. There you go. Hey, Tawada. Yeah,
Leave
as
the
they
world
brought, leave
behind.
the world
That's the
behind,
one.
right? And the Teslas start crashing, because like somehow someone hacked the system, right? Well, it's crazy because people are saying that happened with the ship. This ship just lost power somehow, right as before it comes up to the bridge, and because it lost power, it crashes right into one of the support, what they call support columns on the bridge, and you just see the whole bridge just collapse into the water, carnal. And it's crazy because you I didn't know about the 6 workers on the bridge. That's the title of tonight's show: the Baltimore Bridge collapse and the 6 missing workers, right? And lo and behold, the 6 missing workers, right, are Israelites. You know, um, which is just comes to show is Raza, so-called Hispanics, so-called Latinos that passed away in this tragedy. And that speaks volumes. It speaks, it shows, like how we are as a people, man, and what we do to keep this country going, because that bridge is vital, right? And now the state of Maryland, what they declared a state of emergency and everything, because they're in a jam right now because of that bridge. But the fact that you had Raza right there, working to maintain it, right? It just comes to show you that who keeps this country running, right? And who is willing to risk their lives for this country is Raza, the so-called Hispanics, so-called Latinos, right? Orale, we got. Let me shout out the chat real quick. We got the carnal Chupa Matamyad in the scene. Orale, carnal. Ya bashin shabrakata, carnal. Who else we got? We got the sister Olivia Arnold. A shalom sis Yahweh Shamar Alata Bashim Yahweh Shai. Right? Leave the world. Okay, Matamyad even he knew he said leave the world behind. Right? So it's just crazy, carnal. I had the footage. Right? We could find the footage and play it to show you what's going on, carnal.
Carnal.
So here's the footage. This is crazy, you know. So it's right there. Look at that, carnal. From that ship just crashing into the, you know.
So like, you said that this is related.
Salaya?
This is related to the movie The End of the World.
Nah, it's not related to it. It's just funny because in that movie, it shows like a similar situation with a ship losing control and running on the beach.
Oh, yeah.
So
Okay,
I'm
I'm
gonna play the footage again, right?
Of the Baltimore.
Let me go back real quick, and then does this, you know what I mean? Look at this, carnal. Imagine that. All this had to do was just hit the right spot on that column, and the whole bridge just fell into the water, man. God, okay. So Matamya said they already have multiple conspiracy theories. The ship, it's going viral. Yeah, órale, carnal. Yeah, and people are. I could only imagine the conspiracy theories. And this from the garden, of course, but the footage is crazy. Just to show, just a heads up. On the I had the link to the StreamYard if people want to join and ask questions and expound on the matter.
And we are learning more tonight.
You know, this is the topic for tonight that I figured, we could speak on because it's just happened. This just happened, I believe, yesterday or the day before, right? That the ship crashed and 6 people went missing. It's crazy because when you look closely at the bridge, you see trucks and cars driving, right? The sister Olivia Arnold said, "London Bridge is falling down. Remember that song? Good night, conscious."
So like, she also said that in the small town where she's at, that there was a dead corpse of a human under a bridge.
Under the damn bridge. Oh, under. Hey, Salaki, sister, you from out there, from that part of town, or is this like?
Yeah, from her part of town.
You from out there, from Maryland?
And this is the thing, I wouldn't doubt it because who lives under the bridge? Blacks and Latinos live under the bridge.
Right. I was gonna ask you who lives under the bridge, carnal. We live under bridges near freeways in the worst of conditions, you know. We live in the most, you know.
So like a canal, that's what I was in. Okay, the people that lost their lives.
Right.
Were they workers on the ship? Were they?
Oh, the people that lost their lives. So when this happened, right? When this happened, they were working construction on the bridge. They were repairing potholes on the bridge. So they were like, I think their version of Caltrans, you know, the Department of Transportation. They were, they were working on the bridge, repairing it, and this happened. There's a couple of stories that I came across, right, that just shows, you know, like the magnitude of this issue. And to me, right, like as I stated, this is crazy because these poor brothers, right, like these were, you know, husbands, brothers, fathers, you know what I mean? They have families. And you would never think, right? You go into your slavery and you just work your job, and out of nowhere, just boom, that's it, right? You would never thought like a ship's gonna crash into your work spot and that's it for you. Anything could happen when you work a slavery. Like you could be working, minding your own business, and some incident happens where your life's at stake. You know, and it just comes to show you
Uh,
how jammed up we
and
are as
that's
a
the proof.
people. Go ahead, Kana.
Yeah, Khan, and that's the proof of how we built America, and we
Right,
keep it running.
right. So we got this is Dean checking in from Baltimore, Maryland. Yeah, Howard. Okay, what's going on, Dean? Can you expound on a little bit what you know about what's going on out there? You know, but that's the crazy part about it. You know, Kaka na Matamya said United States of America is falling.
I was trying to read into the story,
Right.
and there's some MAGA, there's some MAGA, what have you, some conspiracists or MAGA supporters,
Huh?
like they're blaming immigrants for this for the bridge.
They're what?
They're blaming immigrants.
Of course they would. Of course they would blame immigrants, right? Quote unquote immigrants for the bridge. Oh, good
God,
night.
if I could read this real quick, it
Go
says
ahead.
for most from I'm gonna just drop down. This is where's this from? This is from MSNBC, and I'm gonna just go
Okay,
down to like where it says for most Americans it was a breathtaking disaster and human tragedy, but
right.
far right conspiracy theorists say it is an opportunity. In a rapid flood of social media posts, politicians and pundits insist that the disaster could not have simply been an accident, but it was somehow Biden's fault or the fault of immigrants or the result of a terrorist attack. Like,
And just for the record, I'm not playing that to make a joke of the deaths of these brothers that died on the bridge. I'm making a joke of the foolishness of the people on the, of Trump supporters, of conspiracy theorists who want to blame my raza for this disaster, man. Y'all want like how do I say this, man? Like y'all love making us the scapegoat for your problems. You know, it's ironic. It's ironic that this actually is said, and it comes to show the hypocrisy of the other side. The brother dropped out. No sweat. You know, meanwhile, until we wait till he comes back, I'll just expound on this, right? It shows the hypocrisy of you oppressors, man. You tell us that we can't blame you for our problems. You tell us that we can't hate you. We can't be mad at you. We can't blame you as a nation. That it wasn't just one, like the average Joe had nothing to do with the oppression of so-called Hispanics or so-called Latinos. But one incident like this happens and you blame us. You get mad at us. You point the finger at all of us. And that demonstrates how y'all are a bunch of hypocrites. You oppressors are hypocrites. You Trump supporters are hypocrites. You gringos are hypocrites. And you can call it what you want. It's just the truth. You don't practice what you preach. America is a compulsive liar. Absolutely. It's a nation of liars. This is why we say the oppressor is the devil the Bible speaks of, because of your lies, man. You can't help but lie. The fact you want to blame this on immigrants shows how much like what you're capable of lying about. And, Salai Kamana, can you hear me? Or Salai Kana, can you hear me? I mean, this is what I would want to ask. Y'all can call in, hop on the live stream. Please explain how this is the so-called immigrants' fault. Please explain. In the words of Jeremiah Hyman, explain. Any Trump supporter listening, anybody that hates Raza, listen. Please explain to me how this is our fault that this happened. I'll wait. I wish I had a cricket soundbite so I could play it, because I cannot understand it. I can't fathom it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, carnal. And this is the thing that there's no evidence that we're at fault. They're habitual liars. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? But we have all the evidence to prove them guilty of all their crimes and all the everything all the wickedness that they have caused against blacks and Latinos.
right.
You know what I'm saying? But we are uh but we're a hate group.
Yeah,
You
we're the
know,
hate group, carnal.
we're the hate group because we're blaming them for actual things that they've done. But they're not called a hate group when they say that immigrants are at fault for a bridge collapsing.
Right. That's not the hate group. That's not a cult. That's not anti-Semitism. You know what I mean? I cannot. Hey, so if you can send me that article, I'll share it on the screen, man. I cannot believe that. That is
Oh,
wild.
okay, I'll send it to you. Through text.
Con, however you can, carnal. I gotta see this. I'm gonna play the news story, carnal. So this is going into who were the people that passed away in this accident, in this tragedy.
Searching for the remains of 6 people who were working on the Key Bridge in Baltimore when it collapsed.
The National Transportation Safety Board is leading the investigation, and today they're interviewing crew members who were on the ship that hit the bridge, and they're also collecting evidence. On CBS Mornings, Maryland's governor talked about his conversations with the families of those construction workers.
They received the worst news that they could ever possibly receive, and when they left their family members, when their family members left to go to work, they never imagined that the result would be a bridge collapsed, and now their family members missing. And the thing they wanted to
Right, like this mayor's saying that it's true. You go into your slavery, you're not expecting that you're gonna something's gonna happen and you're gonna pass away. I mean, as a nation of people, right? Like we're because we don't have the Most High with us, right? We risk situations like this. We risk going into our slavery and getting unalive, getting gunned down, dying in a horrible freak accident, right? When the Lord is not with you, this is what happens. And I'm not saying that these brothers deserved it. You know what I mean? Lord be with their familias, man. This is horrible, but it shows what happens when we don't have the Lord's protection, man.
Right, Canal, and what you were saying, like,
go ahead, Canal.
That was Raza going to, like, that's what my rib was saying. She's like, man, like it affects Latinos because Latinos got to use that bridge more than anybody to go to and fro.
Imagine that.
What's proof that it was Latinos working at night, you know what I'm saying, servicing the roads.
Right. That's who's keeping you running. That's who keeps America running is the Raza. You know what I mean? And let me say this for a lot of you Chicanos out there, a lot of you I don't know what to call y'all, man. Just a lot of people that gatekeep the wrong people. Hondureños, because it wasn't just Mexicans that passed away in this incident, right? It was Hondureños, it was Salvadoreños, and it was Guatemaltecos. All so-called Latinos are Raza. Here in the ISUPK, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, they Raza to us, man. We all Raza here, man. So when I say Raza, I'm using it relative. I'm talking about all 12 tribes. But in this instance, right, this is all the so-called Latinos that passed away, man. They help keep your country running. And the thank you that you, America, give them is to go harm their people at the border. Go harm us when we try to come over here for a better life, man. That's what y'all try to do. Y'all tell us, y'all yell at us because we don't speak English, because our English is broke, because we don't do it the right way. Meanwhile, what do we come here to do? You say we're invading this country. Our people come here to work, to keep your country running. And that's the thank you that y'all give us, right? That we don't belong here. This isn't our land, when it technically is our land. You're going to tell us we don't belong here. But I'm going to keep playing this guy now.
Because these were fathers and these were sons And these were husbands, and these are people who their families relied on. And so we let them know that the state would be there for them.
Now, footage shows the vessel known as Dolly striking a column that supported the bridge in Baltimore early yesterday after the vessel lost power. Crews rescued 2 people from the water shortly after that collapse.
CBS News Homeland Security and Justice reporter Nicole Skanga has been covering this story for us from the very beginning. She is near the collapse site in Dundalk, Maryland. So, Nicole, tell us what's the latest you're hearing about the victims and the efforts to recover them.
Well, if the word for yesterday was shocking, the word for today from officials, from members of the community is just heartbreaking. As the governor said, these were 6 victims, but they were husbands, brothers, fathers, and we're learning more and more about them as details are emerging. Among them, Miguel Luna. He was originally from El Salvador, but called Maryland home for 19 years. He was the father of 3 and a husband.
So this is a father and a husband, carnal. He lived in this country 19 years. All he did was go to work that night. Was going to try and, fix whatever issue was on the bridge. And there you go.
Also learning another name, Maynor Yasir Suazo Sandoval, a Honduran citizen originally, and the consulate of Honduras confirming he is among those missing. Also, the Guatemala Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirming that 2 individuals from Guatemala are among those unaccounted for and presumed dead. The Mexican consulate not giving a number, but saying that they too believe that among those who are missing are presumed deceased, someone from Mexico. And there have been a number of NGOs who have been working with the family members, offering them support during this time. I've talked to so many community members here who just cannot fathom this tragedy. The recovery is going to be tough. I mean, talking to law enforcement officials, they're dealing with currents, with wind. You can see the rain behind me, freezing.
So that's crazy, carnal. It's heartbreaking. It's really sad and heartbreaking, man. Like this is a man with a family, and he didn't get to come home. He didn't get to come home to his children. He didn't get to come home to his wife. He went to go, keep, this bridge, fix the issues, do his job. And the ship had to crash into the bridge. And that was it for him, man. That was it for him. You know what I mean, carnal? And that just, shows the magnitude of the situation here in America.
Never said it, carnal.
Go ahead, carnal.
And Sister Olivia said, so why is there not a damn search in the water for these people?
Right, sis, that's a heavy point you bring up. There's another article, right? And I'll play it right now. Let's see. I don't know how much more this is left. Let's see what else we're going to here.
Temperatures, depths of 50 feet. And so retrieval, the road ahead's not easy. Our last law enforcement briefing late last night, they had not located any of the bodies, but they are hard at work trying to reunite families with their loved ones.
And of course, Nicole, the relatives of those men, their friends, their colleagues, they will want answers into what happened, how this could have happened. I know the NTSB has released some information, but we're going to measure results in like months and years. How long until we learn more about what caused this?
Errol, that's exactly right. So many people wanting answers right now, and NTSB cautioning that in the past, these investigations have been measured in years, not in days or months. Now, they are, all systems go today, planning on boarding the vessel in a 3-hour window between 10 a.m. and 1 p.m. So that's about right now, actually, that they are undergoing evidence collection. And one of the key pieces of evidence will be that voyage data collector, that black box, that recorder that was on the ship, the Dolly, that should indicate any sort of power or propulsion problems, at what time that occurred, how that occurred, what went wrong, where. They're also going to be interviewing personnel aboard the Dolly today, in addition to first responders, fire, police, and any witnesses to the actual crash. What they're hoping to put together is a more accurate timeline of events. And we've been speaking with officials here on the ground who say that it was just 2 minutes between when the pilots notified the Maryland Department of Transportation, of the Port Authority and the Coast Guard, and when the actual crash occurred, which really speaks to just how quickly law enforcement moved. But again, NTSB hoping to get more answers and a more specific timeline today.
All right, Nicole Scanger, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Major questions are being raised about how the collapse of the Baltimore Bridge could impact the local.
That's right. Ship traffic into the port of Baltimore has been suspended, and this is one of the nation's key trade lines. Take a look.
We're talking about, right, Canal? Right.
So I can say that again.
This is what you were talking about, right? That or did I say what this is what the effect of it is now? Like now with everything's come to a halt in that area, like especially in the port. This is what they talk about, like now the economic impact, right?
Okay.
Look at some of these numbers. According to the Maryland Governor's Office, in 2024 alone, this port handled more than 50 million tons of foreign cargo worth approximately $81 million. That port also directly supports more than 15,000 jobs, while another 140,000 are linked to port activities. And all those workers make a combined $3.3 billion every year.
Data from the Maryland DOT shows the Francis Scott Key Bridge itself brought in $56 million in toll revenue last year. And here's why that's important. That actually accounts for more than 7% of the state's total toll revenue.
CBS News senior White House and political correspondent Ed O'Keefe joins us now to speak about the economic side of this. Ed, President Biden insisting that he will pay, the government will pay for the bridge to be rebuilt. Does he have the congressional support he needs to make that happen?
We don't know yet, Errol, because Congress is out this week and next, and it's going to require some intense lobbying by the Biden administration, the governor of Maryland, and the Maryland congressional delegation, which for all but one member is Democrat, to try to convince House and Senate members.
So with all this being talked about, right, Carnal, in the tragedy, right, a scripture comes to mind, and this is what I want to share. Right, if I have the wrong scripture, this is not what it's talking about. Of course, you can correct me, Kanan. But Deuteronomy 32 and 39 came to mind, right? Because everyone's saying this is conspiracy theories, right? ALD said, or Aldi said, that the ship was controlled by remote control. People were saying, that there's all types of conspiracy theories that's Matam Yad brought out. But ultimately, right, who was behind all this, right, is the Lord. The Lord makes everything happen. This is how the scripture goes, right? This is Deuteronomy 32 and 39. See now that I, even I, am he, and there is no God with me. I kill and I make alive. I wound and I heal. Neither is there any that can deliver out of my hand.
The
Lord's called a terrible power for a reason, right? And it's sad those brothers died. I'm not saying that they, that they brought it on themselves and this and that. No. But what I will say is that in this tragedy right now, look at what's happening from it.
Eventually provide whatever it is, disaster relief or economic relief you might need. Obviously, there's an interstate commerce and therefore federal interest in restoring that bridge route in whatever fashion in the coming years. And there's going to be
I'm talking about years.
Other safety and economic concerns around keeping that port open. So there is a congressional interest and need to engage in this. But generally, the president is eager to demonstrate that the federal government can respond to big disasters like this. You may recall last year there was a modest
the question is
over a key span of the interstate.
Go ahead, Kanan.
Salagia, if I could, the question is if the company who owns this ship is going to pay for these brothers' funeral.
Right. And who put them in harm's way? Okay, go ahead,
exactly. Are they going to take accountability? Right, for like what the brother said, that this cargo ship was what he said that it was
remote control.
If it was remote control, like, are they going to take accountability and step up and pay for these brothers, burial. You know what I'm
It
saying?
gets right. Go
Which
ahead.
is not gonna justify, or take away the sorrow from the families. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I'm pretty sure, these families, they were not expecting this tragedy, to go down. And, a lot of Raza, like we're not saving up to, for like the oppressor. Like they have what they call it when they put money into their insurance. What they call that, carnal?
Their insurance, their what's it called?
Like what
What's it
you
called?
know what I mean? So they could take that
Their
money,
trust funds.
the life
I
insurance. There
mean,
you go.
their life insurance, right? Their life insurance,
Yeah,
everything.
like they're not. They don't have. I'm pretty sure they don't have life insurance. Even though they could get life insurance, but they're not putting money towards that because they never imagined this going down. But
Oh, right, right.
is this company gonna own up and pay for these brothers, for these families lost? I'm more.
Right.
I doubt that they are.
No sweat. Now there's another article that came out and check this out. All right. Look at this. This is what gets uncovered, right?
State 95 there in Philadelphia, and it was quickly rebuilt with the assistance of the state and federal government and resources that were quickly provided by the Biden administration. There's another bridge of a similar triple-digit interstate highway outside, actually just to the south of Providence, Rhode Island, that is a popular spot that now has to be rebuilt and is going to get some extra federal attention as
Good
well.
night,
And now,
man.
of
Just
course,
the
this
destruction
deadly
that this ship
and
was able to
dramatic
cause,
bridge
man.
collapse
Good
in
night.
Baltimore. So there's precedence for this.
So here's what else got uncovered, Carnal.
This is Maximilian Alvarez for the Real News Network reporting from Baltimore. It's about 1 p.m. on Tuesday, March 26th. I'm standing in front of the place where the Francis Scott Key Bridge used to be, just up the drive behind me.
Man.
We're all in a bit of shock here in Baltimore, and there's still a lot that we are trying to learn and investigate as we speak. And our hearts right now are with the families of the 6 people who,
So it's coming out, Carnal, that these workers were not warned of the ship coming in, right? As they said in the news, right, the ship right gave out a mayday, a distress call, right, letting the officials know that the ship has lost power and it's out of control. They stopped traffic on the bridge right before this happened, Carnal. You know, and they're praising the police. They're praising the police, and I forgot who else they're praising for preventing the disaster from being worse than what it is, right? But somehow, how these 6 workers not get the warning, right? How were they allowed to stay on the bridge?
Their lives don't matter, carnal.
Right, because that's the
And
truth, carnal. That's la neta. Raza, your lives do not matter in this country. And Raza, in your workplace, right? Your life is not important to these oppressors, man. You're expendable. They'll easily something happen to you and they'll just replace you with somebody else. Tell that to the workers at that Walmart in El Paso. Any incident, the migrants out there in the fields, your life means nothing to this nation. That's the sad reality. Right? And you know where your lives do matter? Here in the ISUPK and the Commanding Johnny Yahana.
and
Your
Salaka,
lives matter
carnal,
here. Go ahead, Kana.
Right. I don't know if you remember, like a couple months back, where it was a sister that got on the live at the field by one of them tractors,
Right.
and the workers have to continue working. I don't know if you remember that.
I mean, I'll find it.
Yeah, there was a sister who got unalive by one of them tractors on the field, and the brothers had to continue working
Right.
while her body was there. You know what
So
I'm saying?
while
Like,
her body was right there, they had to work. Imagine that, man.
you know what I'm saying? And that's the thing, that America has us so oppressed that we can't even take time off to check up on the sister, see if she still has a pulse. Like, no. You know what I'm saying? It's not even funny, but they seen the tractor run her over. She lost her life, and you know uh, America has, and that's one thing General Hyman was bringing out years ago. While America
Right.
has you worried about how you gonna pay your bills, you cannot worry about your people's best interest, and you can't have your people's best interest in mind. You just gonna worry about yourself, and that's not the spirit of the Lord.
Right.
The spirit of the Lord is, you have to put your people first. But the spirit
Right.
of America is being independent.
Right. If I could, carnal, isn't there laws in the Bible that tells you how to treat your workers, how to treat your servants? you know, when when the scripture, of course, the oppressors love to pull this one when it says servants obey your masters, right? That was talking about how to treat your servants, right? Because what was the next part to that? Right, you got to treat your workers with dignity out there. When they're working for you, you got to treat them like human beings, not like animals. Otherwise, they're not going to produce nothing for you. That's the problem. We have what's that scripture say in Proverbs, right? When the wicked bear rule, the people mourn, but when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. We have a wicked people in power, man, and situations like this are always going to happen. As long as this oppressor's in power running America and his way of life is pushed throughout the whole world, this is the same story that's going to be happening over and over again, man. Because you have a greedy animal up there that does not care about your well being. They only care about themselves, they only care about their well being and their survival. And they know that in order for them to survive, you have to be expendable, Raza. That's the reality of it, man. It's a lot. Y'all continue playing this.
Unaccounted for. Those search and rescue operations have been underway since early this morning. As Hayes Gardner and Christine Condon reported this morning in the Baltimore Sun, quote, in the middle of the night, a massive driftless container ship traveling 9 miles per hour issued a mayday as it traversed toward the iconic Francis Scott Key Bridge. The ship had departed the port of Baltimore only 30 minutes prior, but as it tried to navigate the channel, it lost power before colliding with a support column, causing a din that could be heard ashore and immediately toppling the essential mid-Atlantic thoroughfare into the frigid waters below. Several cars were knocked into the Patapsco River, and as of Tuesday around 11 a.m., authorities were still searching for 6 unaccounted for construction workers who had been repairing potholes at the time.
So that's what they were doing, Kanan. They were repairing the potholes on the bridge, right? Some cars went missing. I don't know if they found those people, but those workers, right? All 6 of them, they didn't find them.
2 others were rescued, one who was hospitalized and another who refused transport. Extensive rescue efforts are ongoing. Baltimore awoke Tuesday to the tragedy, a state of emergency declared by both the mayor and governor. Search and rescue efforts for those missing. A bridge disappeared. Before the collision, the ship's crew notified authorities that the vessel had lost power. That mayday allowed Maryland Transportation Authority police on the highway above to prevent many cars.
So in those 2 minutes, right? What it said minutes, right? Is that what it said? In that time beforehand, when they issued the mayday, they were able to stop traffic to keep more cars from crossing that bridge. So they knew about it ahead of time. I'm asking, it was this. Did they have enough time to warn the workers? Did they have plenty of time to notify them so they can brace themselves. They can try to get off the bridge.
Cars from driving onto the bridge just before the catastrophe. End quote. I spoke to Jesus Campos, who works for Bronner Builders. They employed the crew that was working on the Key Bridge last night before it collapsed. So, solo tengo, dos preguntas, pero
This is a worker, right? This guy does the same. Is that I don't know if that's the same company, right? That had them out there working, but this guy is one of the people that worked on that bridge, and this is what he says.
¿Puede hablar un poco de usted y el trabajo que hace usted y su conexión al proyecto en el puente?
Sí, mi nombre es Jesús Campos. Yo trabajo para la Bragner compañía, trabajamos para el estado de Maryland. Y los muchachos que se fueron al agua son compañeros míos, son amigos míos, yo los conozco.
Damn.
Lo siento muchísimo, hombre, no puedo comprender la tristeza ahorita y
like that's crazy, carnal. You know what I mean? Like people that you know, right? Like you see that tragedy happen on TV, and next thing you know, they passed away. You know, people that you was just talking to a second ago, and now they gone on some, on an event like this.
¿qué sabemos ahora sobre los trabajadores, sus compañeros, quienes estaban trabajando en el puente anoche? El trabajo que estaban haciendo y las noticias que recibieron antes del crash.
O sea, nosotros hacemos lo que es reparación de concreto en el puente, sacamos donde hay hoyo, sacamos el concreto que está dañado y ponemos concreto nuevo, es lo que nos dedicamos nosotros en la compañía.
En la noche, ¿no? Con menos coches.
Ajá, menos tráfico, entramos ya a las 9 de la noche hasta las 5 de la mañana, son el horario que ellos dan. Pero hemos trabajado mucho tiempo allí y nunca ha pasado un percance de lo que pasó.
Right. And that's what I was saying earlier, carnal. You work this job, right? Like it's like you go every day to your slavery, nothing happens. You know, you wouldn't imagine something like this happening. It's usually uneventful, and then bam, out of nowhere, just the ship crashes into the bridge, and that's it.
Sí, fue un desastre horrible. ¿Sabe usted si los trabajadores recibieron una noticia antes de...? No.
No. Tengo entendido.
So he said they did not receive any warning before the crash, carnal. So they knew it. And how is it these people, the what they call the port authorities or whatever they call the port police? How did they know about it? And they didn't warn them and give them the heads up, so they could at least try to get bridge.
Que ellos estaban en la hora de break, media hora de break que dan, como que ellos estaban adentro de los
camiones. They were on their break?
No sé si son 4 camiones o 5 camiones que como que ellos estaban adentro de los camiones, no sé si son 4 camiones en la hora de...
¿Si vieron una noticia antes de...? No.
Tengo entendido que ellos estaban en la hora de break, media hora de break que dan, como que ellos estaban adentro de los camiones, no sé si son 4 camiones o 5 camiones que tienen que estar en el lugar. Ellos estaban adentro de los camiones, supuestamente.
Damn, man.
Y una pregunta más, por favor. ¿Qué pueden hacer la gente en Baltimore para soportar usted y sus compañeros y las familias de los trabajadores, nuestra gente, no?
Es una situación bien difícil de esa de la que estamos pasando. Pues yo me ha dolido lo que ha pasado. Son mis compañeros de trabajo y también son mis amigos, pues. Y sabe que uno sale en la noche a trabajar para ganar el pan de cada día. Tenemos seres queridos que los esperan el regreso de nosotros. Y ya con una noticia de esa, algo devastador que ha pasado. Muy triste, pues. Porque, imagínense, los compañeros, pues, todavía nos decían, ya los sacarían del agua, ¿qué está pasando? Pero es algo bien duro que lo que pasó. Algo que uno nos espera. Yo estuve trabajando en el puente hace un mes. Hace un mes estuvimos trabajando nosotros ahí en el puente y luego los han cambiado a trabajar de día. Sí. Pudimos haber sido nosotros los que estuviéramos en ese percance.
Jesús, muchas gracias por hablar conmigo.
De nada, de nada.
Solidaridad, hermano.
Es una situación bien difícil eso. Más que todo para la familia de ella. Nosotros lo sentimos, pero no es como lo que ellos sienten ahorita. Sí.
Muchas gracias.
So that as he was bringing out, like they didn't have any warning. They were able to, the officials knew and didn't give them the heads up. They were on their break. So imagine that, carnal. You working your slavery, man. What's one of the things you look forward to when you're on that slavery, carnal?
You're looking forward to your breaking lunch, carnal.
Right, right. Take that break in that lunch, in that lunch,
Yeah.
and imagine that you take, you work and deal with the BS on that whole night. Then you finally get to your break, and then bam, a ship crashes and you fall right into the water, man.
That's
And
like
you got
because do you ever notice that on the freeway, like let's say at nighttime, when you driving, there are working on the road because, like he said, there's less traffic, but
Right.
there's always like a patrol there, like a cop
Right.
or, like how, like if they got a Mayday warning, how is it that this police officer did not warn them about it?
Right.
How did this police officer didn't get the warning?
Right.
Or and if
That's
he
crazy.
did, like did he take off? Like, what did he do?
Right. And that's crazy you say that because the police. What did they say earlier? The police knew about it. They did. They got the Mayday call. That's why they stopped
Con,
the traffic from coming on the bridge.
con.
So they knew about it and they didn't warn these workers.
Right. So that so that's what I'm saying. Like, did the police patrol that was on there on site with them? Because there always has to be a patrol with them on site. I've
Right.
never seen not one. I don't know how they do it over there, but from what I've seen, every time they're working on the freeway or on the road or something, there's always like a police officer, like a vehicle right there with them. So like, did he take off to go prevent cars from coming in? And if he did, why didn't he warn the workers? Like,
Right.
where was he at? Is the question.
Right. Where were they at, carnal? And basically what they're saying is, like they knew about it and they didn't warn them because as we stated earlier, you know why? Because our lives don't matter to them.
Don't matter.
We're expendable. We're expendable,
Huh?
And that's the whole thing. Like we keep loving America, we keep serving it and wanting to build it up and show our allegiance to it. And this is how America thanks us. This is the thank you for your service. Your life's expendable to them. Your life does not matter to them, man. Tell that to deported veterans. Tell that to Raza that's been unalived at the hands of these gringos, man. Right? It's time for us to awake out of that sleep, man. If I cook it now, I'm gonna pull another scripture. I'm gonna go to the book of Romans 13 and 11. Right? Y'all need to know what time it is. This is what the Bible tells us, right? That Bible and that Christian church, right? That they don't teach you. Right? This is Romans 13 and 11. And that knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. Right? Right now we're asleep, man. We're asleep. We can't notice that this country does not care about us. We do not get angry about the mistreatment that America gives us, man. Let me find that article, carnal, right? The one that you sent me, I got it right here, and I'm gonna share it on the screen.
Huh.
The fact that you got people saying this crap, man. This is what my carnal shared earlier, right? And I'm gonna read it here. It says the MAGA World Bridge conspiracies highlight an incredibly dark reality. Now, Raza, is the time. Knowing the time, that is high time to awake out of sleep. It says, for most Americans, it was a breathtaking disaster and human tragedy, but far-right conspiracy theorists saw it as an opportunity. In the rapid flood, right, of critical... Hold on, let me enlarge this screen right here. In the... What is it? In the rapid flood of social media posts, politicians and pundits insisted that the disaster could not have simply been an accident. It was somehow Biden's fault, or the fault of immigrants, or the result of a terrorist attack. Without evidence, they blamed drug-addled employees, diversity policies, Israel, and even the recent infrastructure bill. Many of the usual suspects weighed in, moving seamlessly from one big lie to another. Think of this week's constellation of psychosis as an outgrowth of bridge denialism. Have a good night. Like this is what we were talking about, right, Kanan? It says right here, Fox News host Maria. What is it? Bartiromo, whose election lies figured prominently in Dominion's 787 million defamation lawsuit, tried to link the bridge collapse to what she called the wide open border. Like what? Like how? How the hell are you gonna blame this on my people, man? Like make that make sense. Like there's families right now that are grieving and mourning because they just lost their loved ones. There's a family that just lost their father, and you gonna blame it on him? Damn you oppressors, man. Damn you oppressors for the evil that y'all do, man. Let that be your loved ones. Let your father die in a freak accident like that. Let me blame him for it. That's the lack of compassion that you oppressors have for us, man. You know what I mean? That shows lack of compassion. Go ahead, Kana.
No, Salakia, what that brother said, look at it closely, but it's my fault, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You know what's crazy about that story? Not to side note, but you know what happened? What's the backstory to that, right?
No, go ahead, Kana.
That old man that he was saying that to, that old man told him to go back to his country, to go back to where he was from. That's why he told him, I'm from here. And that's him where he was from. Ain't that something? He stood up to that devil being racist against him, and he got ridiculed for it. He got a whole meme made out of it. Fools Gone Wild done made, I don't know how much they made off of that. And today it's a joke. But the sad reality is that this devil told him to go back to his country, as he stood up for it and he gets shamed. And that says the spirit, that speaks volumes, man. That's the nature of this country, man. What does that let you know, carnal? What does that go back to?
Salakia, go ahead.
Slavery. How dare you stand up to massa? How dare you question the oppressor? Right? Back then, there were probably, people that got tired of the mistreatment. And when they got angry about it, they were ridiculed. I'm pretty sure Nat Turner was ridiculed before people started joining him. You know what I mean? And people ridicule because they're scared. Because we have years and years of generational trauma put on us. That's why we get the flack we get, carnal. That's why we get called a hate group, and our own people be the first to come up and try to stop us from speaking. Because the fear has been put in us that we don't want to scare, we don't want to anger this oppressor because then bad things are going to happen to us. Right? That's the whole thing of it, carnal. We're scared of this.
That's what WAC 100 was telling Captain Gadol. Captain Tazarian.
Right.
He's saying that when they were speaking on the Bukis,
right.
He was like, oh man, he's afraid that the oppressor's gonna do something to us when they've been doing, wickedness and evil things against us.
Right.
He's like, oh man, that Bukis, the that the oppressor is gonna start doing things like if they're just gonna start doing it. I don't know. No, they've been doing it.
Right.
He's afraid.
Right. He's afraid, man. Like, ain't that something? You're supposed to be a hardcore gangster and you scared of this oppressor? You mean to tell me the white man is more gangster than you? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, the reality is that he is.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying? He's the original gangster. Whack 100 is just the imitator.
Straight up, man. That's who he loves, man. I see, like, not to go too much into it, but I've seen how he treats oppressors versus how he treats his people, and you see who he loves, right? But that's what he does is what our people do, man, as a whole.
I don't know if you've seen the recent one. This is one devil. He has a YouTube channel, and like
the one that goes around and says, "Boy."
Yeah, he goes around and like treats people with like it's like he makes it seem like it's an act, like it's a prank, but
right,
that's his true spirit, man, and he's glad to go around and dress like a hillbilly and
right. No, I seen it. I seen it.
You know what I'm saying? But Salakia, look, how come and some people might say like, oh, because Whack 100's daughter was there. And how come he didn't call him a bitch? Why right. Like, who you talking to, bitch? Like, don't call me no boy, bitch. You know what I'm saying? But his own brother, he'll talk down.
He'll he'll be all rah. What did they say? All rah on him.
Rah, God.
Yeah, he'll get all rah with another black or brown man. Oh, Salakia, he said he loved everybody except when it comes to Mexicans. Let's not get started on the things that he said about, what's her name, Lupe, right? The sister that's with Crip Mac. Let's not get started on the things he said, right, about Mr. Criminal and all other Mexicans, like Mexican rappers, right? Chicano rappers. But he loves everybody. That's proof right there that he doesn't love, he doesn't practice what he preaches. Of course, I don't want to get, not to deviate from the topic, but because you mentioned that, right? He represents the spirit that this whole nation, our Raza, and our people in the world have. They hate us and love the oppressor because of fear, because it's years and years of generational trauma that's been put on us, man.
Come on.
What the men above me have always brought this out, that your mom's is the first to try and do what she can to make sure that you stay under under the devil's radar, and she'll make you get you to agree with him, get you to be quiet, get you to not get angry, so that you don't anger him, so that you don't piss him off, so that you survive. That's the spirit we have, man. Right, but that just it's heavy you bring that out because that's just the truth, man.
And Salaka, I have a precept. 2 Timothy 1:7. For the Most High had not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. And you're not gonna find that spirit of a man of war anywhere else but in the ISUPK.
Right.
You have the spirit of fear. Why? Because the Lord didn't give you that spirit. Who gave you that spirit? America has given you the spirit of fear, and it has made you powerless. And
right.
You have made your descendants powerless. But the Lord has given us a spirit of a war, of a men of war, and that gives us power. That's why we could stand up to the oppressor, and we're not ashamed to let them know who we really are. Like at my slavery, I wear my gun
You
that
rock
was
that shit with pride.
not every day. You
Most in
know,
Christ, carnal.
I misplaced my Magunda Wada, and it was like 3 days. 3 days, I was like, man, where's my Magunda Wada, man? Because at the slavery, they always want to, oh, you Jewish, and then with my Magunda Wada is what initiates that dialogue, and I get to prove to them that they're imposters. You know what I'm saying? And I'm powerful when I do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And of love, and by
Right.
doing that, I'm letting them know, like, hey, look, you're not the people who God loves, man.
Right.
Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and I do it for the love of my people and of
Damn
sound
right.
mind. You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, you have the spirit of fear because you worship America. America, when you go through troubles, when you go through, Blacks and Latinos are in hell, and you need to pray, but you're not praying to the Most High. You're praying to the God of America, and that's the reason why
Right.
He doesn't answer your prayers, because America hates you. You're not praying
Right.
to your God. You're praying to the
Right.
God of America, and that God hates you. Salaka, go ahead.
Nah, that's heavy you bring that out, carnal, because we get so many things. You know what's crazy, right? Like when it comes to not having the spirit of fear, right? I done heard, like people that come against, like try to come against the school, they always bring up Abba Bivens, right?
Con.
Abba Bivens, and they just say that he made this, they just disrespect them. Well, let me say this, man. Abba Bivens, right? Like, because everyone knows he was unalived at the hands of of Muslims. Nobody commends him for making the ultimate sacrifice. That was a man that truly did not have the spirit of fear. He gave his life for this truth, man. And and it's
Brothers and
sad.
sisters.
Go ahead.
No, Conker. Now, like I was just adding to what you're saying. Like he gave his life for this truth and for his brothers and his sisters.
Right.
Just like Christ went through what he went through. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? That is a worthy sacrifice.
Right. Right. Y'all mock him because y'all scared to do what he did. Y'all scared to give your life for Jesus. You know what I mean? Like if it had to come down with, y'all scared to have to give up your life. So you'll mock the brother that actually did it. Just like you would have mocked Christ back in his day. And that goes to you, you Jewish Christians, you apologists, all of that want to talk on the history of the ISUBK and act like about us and our history more than us. Y'all don't know a damn thing, man, and y'all should shut your mouths. But here's the reality of it, man. Y'all speak against us because you're really afraid. Even you oppressors, you're afraid. That's why y'all go through such what is it? Put such effort into trying to debunk this truth, man. You can't debunk the word of God. You can't debunk the truth, man. And I understand you need this to be fake. You need this to be a joke. You need this to be a cult. You need this to be, a lie so that you can sleep good at night. Because deep down in your soul, you're hoping it's not true. You're hoping that you'll never have to be in the place of the Raza. You're hoping that you'll never have to be in the place of those 6 workers that died in that bridge. You're happy that you don't have to work that job. You're happy that you don't have to work in the middle of the night. That you don't have to work a retail job. And have to deal with the things that so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans do. You don't have to. You're so scared. You know what's so funny? Y'all so scared of stop and frisk. You make conspiracy theories about martial law. We've been living through this. We done went through this, man, and y'all scared of going through it. That's what it is, man. It's like we said, Kanat. That's the spirit of fear, man.
And like just to add what you were saying, like they need this to be fake, to be a lie. You know what I'm saying? And their hope And this not being true is so they won't have to face accountability.
Right.
So the oppressor won't have to face accountability. Like,
right.
You know, you don't want to be accountable for your wickedness, and you don't want the oppressor to be accountable for his evils. But the Lord said, though hand join in hand, the wicked
Right.
should not go unpunished.
Right. That's heavy you say that, Kanai, because that's exactly what it is, man. You're scared. They're scared, you know. You're scared that you're gonna offend Massa. That's what it is, man. But here's more to it, right, Kanai?
Okay.
So this is related, right? And we were talking about conditions, right? This is what our Raza deals with. So locking my internet running slow, of course. But this is an article I came across, right? And I come across these articles, man, you know, and it's like I do a reaction to them, and we share them on here, you know, and we're gonna talk about it. You know, we're gonna have a conversation about this. I got a call-in number. I got what's this, the link to the chat for people that want to come up and talk about it, right?
States, and those risks continue once they live here.
Steve Robertson spoke to the director of the American Friends Service Committee, which advocates for humane conditions for immigrants in the United States.
It's a tragic incident overall, and I can't imagine what the families will be going through once they realize that their family member, that their loved one lost their life in this terrible incident.
We still don't know whether the people who died in Holtville Tuesday morning were undocumented immigrants who just crossed the border, or whether they were on their way to work at a nearby farm.
In either case, the conditions are such that push people to seek very desperate measures to improve their lives, whether it's working in the fields or trying to cross into the U.S. for a better life for themselves and their family members.
Pedro Rios, the director of the American Friends Service Committee, wants us to remember these were people, men, women, and children.
Whether it's farm workers or migrants that cross the border through an unregulated way, they still are human beings that deserve to be treated with dignity. They are human beings that should have to work, and that work should be dignified. The fact that the border right now is closed for anyone who is seeking asylum has pushed many people to try to cross through the deserts and the mountains, and oftentimes what that means is that there is a vehicle that waits for them to pick them up. There needs to be immigration reform that deals with the issues of both people who are arriving at the border as well as those who are already in the U.S., so that people are not being placed at risk. And this incident encapsulates how dangerous it is to be, whether an undocumented migrant or working in the fields. The risks are real, they're there, and they cause loss of life.
Now, Rio says these deaths could have been preventable, and the politicians are to blame because these safety issues surrounding the border and immigration and migrant workers have been around for decades, and they have not been fixed. Carla?
And that's the crazy part. This doesn't just stop, right? This doesn't just stop on the border, right? This happens all the way up into Baltimore, Maryland, right? Our people are put in harm's way, man, just because we're seen as expendable. We're seen as if our lives do not matter to this country, man. Right? They easily just replace us, right? As they say. You can't put better safety practices, man. Y'all could have. I'm pretty sure it's gonna come out. They could have warned them 6 brothers, man, that passed away. It's gonna come out, right, where they messed up.
Go ahead,
Kana.
No, go ahead, Kana. Salakia.
No, it's no sweat. You know, so that just, you know, as I said, Romans 13:11. Now is the high time to wake out of sleep, man. Now is to envy not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways, man. Yeah, there should be no Latinos for Trump for the fact that you saw them make this statement about them, man. How you gonna blame my people for this tragedy? I'm still baffled by that one, carnal. I'm gonna be honest. I'm still baffled by how you can come and say that. Like, make that make sense, man.
The Latinos for Trump they're gonna run with that.
That's amazing, man. If they run with that, my God.
Why? Because it's like the Lord said, my so like what's that precept? I'm trying to paraphrase it, but Jeremiah 50:6. So like it says, my people have been lost sheep. You know what I'm saying? We've been lost sheep, man, and we're gonna remain to be lost if
Right.
you don't wake up, like Malagma said. Pull that scripture. It is high time to awake out of sleep.
Right. And this is one of the trending events right now. Of course, we just had Vladimir Putin admit that the Jews are black, right? Admit that Christ was black. America is showing you how they feel about Raza. So Raza, right now, you should learn to love each other. That's what y'all should be doing right now. You should learn to love that black and brown man and woman. Raza, you should learn to love each other as yourself. You know what I mean? And the issues that you got. Forgive your brother. Forgive your carnal. Don't go pick up another firearm and go unalive your brother, man. Learn to forgive him, man. You got no problem forgiving America. Right? And what did Christ say? Christ said until 70 times 7, you should forgive your brother. Now is the time to forgive your brother, man, because everything that's happening right now, things are only going to get worse. No, I mean that's what I could tell y'all for sure. Things are going to get worse.
You're gonna have to count on your brother.
Right, you're gonna have to count on your brother.
This whole time, you thought because you served in the military and you called someone from another race your brother, you know what I'm saying, that they're gonna be there for you when they're not your true neighbor. Your neighbor is one of your own raza. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to have compassion for your brother, so and teach him, to have compassion towards you. You know what I'm saying? So that way you guys can have that brotherhood, because guess what? The Chinese man is gonna go and defend his brother. He's not gonna go and defend you. He's gonna go and defend his brother when it's time to stop Asian hate. He's not gonna stop saying stop Asian hate and go support Latinos, go support Alex Enamorado. The Palestinians are not going to stop. They're not going to stop saying free Palestine and go support Alex Enamorado. For you brothers and sisters that don't know who Alex Enamorado is, that's a brother who is advocating.
Right.
Go ahead, Salaki.
I'll say.
What did you say?
Is Palestine going to remember these 6 brothers that passed away?
Right. You know what I'm saying? Because the Palestinians are going to be like, oh man, but what about Palestine? Like, where are the Palestinians, speaking up on the behalf of Latinos?
Right.
We got to stop worrying about what they got going on and worry about what we got going on.
Right. And that's heavy. You bring that out, Kanad. You know what I mean? Because that's what we need to do. Right. We need to worry about what's going on with us. Right. Hey, Shalom, Sissy. How was Shema? We need to worry about what goes on with us, as this incident just demonstrated, right? And there was another incident, right? I think I would say let's touch on this and then we'll close out the show, right? But you remember what happened? Commander General Hanna covered this, right? What happened at the border, where they rushed the troops.
I don't think I recall. You could refresh my memory, maybe.
I'm gonna share the story right now. It happened a few days ago. Look at this.
Are they on the U.S. side or the
Yeah,
Mexico
they're on
side?
the U.S. side, and that's Esau's military, right?
Con.
Like, let me say this, man. The fact you got Esau's military mobilizing on your land to keep you from moving on your land speaks volumes, right? I'll say this for the record, man. I understand, right? Yes, there is an illegal immigration problem in America, right? There absolutely is a problem with illegal immigration and people invading this country. But here's the newsflash: so-called Latinos are not illegal immigrants. So-called Hispanics, right? Mexicans are not illegal immigrants. This is our land. This is our soil, and this is how we get treated on it.
And so, like a canal, like a few weeks ago, we showed how the Mongoloids crossed
Right.
the what do you call it?
The border.
The border, right?
Illegally.
We didn't see them
Illegally.
get rushed. They even said they think, and they say how kind and generous the border patrol treated them.
Right.
But Latinos, oh man, I was bringing out earlier this in class, like me amarraron como puerco.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know if you've seen
Yes.
that what I'm talking about, but man, they rushed that brother, man. I don't know if you've seen, they had a few brothers on the ground. They
One
was
brother
like,
got blamed for the death of a cop.
it happened here.
Yeah, out here in Florida.
Oh no, yeah, that one I remember. That's a
You know
different
what I'm
story.
saying? So it's like there is no compassion for us, man. I sound like a broken record. I keep saying this, but that's the reality of it. There is no compassion for us. The United States does not see us as human beings, Raza.
And if it would have been on the other side where that brother would have had a cardiac arrest, that's what he had, right?
Yeah, the cop had cardiac arrest. That was
If
the Lord.
this brother would have had a cardiac arrest, that police officer would not have been charged with unaliving that young brother, man.
Right.
But they want to charge this brother with that officer's death.
Right. Khan, like that's exactly what it is, Kanan. Like they blame us for their problems, but we cannot blame them for ours, right? And that's why you're a nation of hypocrites. That's what you are, America. They're rounding up families, throwing them on buses, separating them, and sending them to places, man. Here's another one.
Yes, there were much less migrants here at the U.S.-Mexico border at Gate 36, probably dozens rather than the hundreds that we saw yesterday. However, tensions between Texas officials and migrants still remained high. Texas National Guardsmen and state troopers
Look at
wearing
that, man.
helmets and bulletproof vests, warning migrants over loudspeakers that they will be arrested if they trespass or damage the razor wire. Guns drawn. People
Look at that,
reporting that they
Kanan.
were.
Look at that. They got their guns drawn and are in full out riot gear. you do this to a peaceable, loving people. Let me go to the Bible, right? Let me go to the book of Psalms. You say the Bible is not our story. Let me show y'all something real quick. I think you know which one I'm talking about, carnal.
Carnal.
In Psalms, the 55th chapter.
But war is in their heart.
Right. And I'm going to leave it right here on this image as I read the scripture. I'm on Psalms 55. Verse 20. Psalms chapter 55, verse 20. He hath put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. You know, and this is how you know the Bible fits us, right? One of the covenants that America made with Mexico, right, or Mexicans, is that they would have free travel across the border, right? Raza would have free travel. They wouldn't be restricted from crossing. What did America do? Restrict our crossing. We need to have this. We need to get in line. We need to, have a sponsor. All types of conditions. This is my question, right? Please call in. Go ahead, Latinos for Trump. Go ahead, Mexican American. Call into my show and explain to me what the right way is. How do you migrate the right way? How do you immigrate the right way? Right? Where's this line that I gotta get into to come in here the right way? He hath broken his covenant. America, this situation exists because that America you love broke its deals, its conditions it made with America, just like they did with the Native Americans, right? With indigenous people. Said we weren't gonna take any more land. We're gonna let y'all have your land. What they do? Manifest destiny. I'm gonna come take the rest of your land. Same thing. Oh, Mexico, we just want to settle and live here because it's nice here. What? We're gonna take it and make it America. Right? There is no they do not keep, they're the devil, man. They can't keep any word. Right? The sister said this, right? Olivia Arnold said they finna push their way through. They armed up against unarmed people. Ain't no way, right? Lister said that's what caused the Sureño and Norteño concept within our people by breaking their word. It's like even what's crazy, right? The Norteño Sureño conflict, that was by an imaginary line. America, these oppressors said that any Mexican caught, right? What is it, north of Fresno, right? What was Fresno's the cutoff line between the north and the south? Anyone on the north side of Fresno is a Norteño. Anyone below Fresno is a Sureño, right? So correct me if I'm wrong out there, but you see how this oppressor pits you against your own. Just like with that border. Anyone in California is no longer Mexican. Everyone below the border is Mexican, and anyone living in California is not a real Mexican. Right? This is what this oppressor does. This is how they pit us against one another, man. Go to the next verse.
So, right? If I could.
Go ahead, Kana.
It says he had put forth his hand against such as be as peace with him. Look, the Latinos that are coming to America are just trying to seek peace with America. How do you know? Because they're willing to work for America for nothing to the dollar, like 85 cents. 85 cents. I don't even think they work for. It's like a tray of strawberries. They pay them like 85 cents for a tray, and in that tray, there's 8 1-pound strawberry clamshells. You know how hard it is to pick them strawberries and them berries and all these fruits for 80. The oppressor went and went to see how much it'll take, how hard it is to work on the fields, and he quit. He quit right. He's like, man, I can't do it.
Right.
And he said that if somebody was to be working that job, they should be getting paid $30 an hour.
Right.
Now imagine that these people come to bring peace to America, to help America prosper, and this is how they get treated.
Right. That's a thank you. That's a thank you for
God,
your service.
right. And then it says, but he had broken his covenant, like Malagma was saying. They broke every treaty. They even had a treaty with Mexico, the Treaty of Hidalgo, that they were going to let them speak their own language. Now, why are Latinos being confronted with go back to your country and don't speak Spanish?
Right.
Why? Because the oppressor has broken their covenant. They've broken every treaty. Go ahead, Carnal, if you want to go to the next one.
God. The words of his mouth, as you just said, Carnal, the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. And let
God,
me
the
go back
words
to
of
that
the
picture.
oppressor are smoother than butter.
Right.
Like they'll say, they'll say everything against illegal immigrants, but Latinos are not the only illegal immigrants.
Right.
There's Mongolos, there's Europeans, there's East Indians,
Right.
all kind of illegal immigrants. But war is in their heart against who? Against God's chosen people. And this, like Malakma said, this right here is proof that we are God's chosen people. Where is the Asian man that can say that 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 they're at peace with America and they get treated with hatred?
Right.
They don't. They get treated with love. That's why they say stop Asian hate, even though China is America's number one enemy, and Russia.
Right.
But how do they get treated? With love, because America goes and says stop Asian hate. There is no detention centers for the Asian man. Go ahead, Carnal, if you want to add to it.
Nah, that you know what else? Like, here's the other part to that, Carnal. You'll never hear an Asian speak against Asian illegal immigration. I'm not seeing the video. If somebody has it out there, send it. Please, by all means, send me this video because I have not seen it. Where is the video of an Asian speaking against illegal immigration from Asians? Complaining about the illegal Asians coming here. I'll wait.
All right.
The East Indians speaking against it. The Arab speaking against illegal Arabs coming over here. You'll never, if Trump would have said that about any of them, you would never see an Asians for Trump. You would never see Arabs for Trump, East Indians for Trump. But for some odd reason, we gotta have Latinos for Trump, man. And that's the problem. Y'all want to blame the gangbangers. Y'all want to blame the paisas. Y'all want to blame us being that we're lazy and we can't get our act together and we're just a bunch of somos del rancho. The reason why we don't get respected here in America is because of y'all. Because when America mistreats us, instead of y'all standing up to America, you love America. Y'all literally turn the other cheek. When you're supposed to turn the other cheek to your brother, not to your enemy, not to your oppressor. That's what Christ was talking about. Not turning the other cheek to a white man so he could slap you upside the face, man. That comes from slavery. That comes from the boarding schools. That comes from the missions, right? Where they taught y'all to be like that, to be subservient, to let them abuse you.
Right.
That's where that comes from, man. Let's see. Let's continue playing this.
Shooting non-lethal projectiles. These scenes coming after Governor Abbott deployed more National Guard troops to Gate 36 on Friday and installed more razor wire in response to the incidents a day.
You know what's crazy? You know what this? If there was no context to this, you know where you would think this was at, carnal? If this wasn't up here, you know where you would... Salaya?
Like Afghanistan or something, right?
Right.
Like, what do you say?
Afghanistan or Iraq.
Like,
that's what you would think this is, man. And why would you think that? Because you would recognize that it's a war being waged on us, man. America is waging war on us, Raza. That's the reality, man.
Con, what the sister said, they come on out here blowing up shit, and they still what they still build some of the buildings up for the Afghanistan, but they still give them Airbnbs.
Right. They still give them Airbnbs. They don't stop and frisk them. You ain't
Right.
never heard about. You know what's funny? That you ever seen that movie, The Siege, with Denzel Washington?
La Acana.
All right, you know what I mean. You will never see a situation like that happen here in America. There's a reason why they took him to Guantanamo Bay, but even there, right, it doesn't compare to what America's done to us, man. They kept us, you know how that's a everyday thing for us, man. The things that they did to the Arabs in Guantanamo Bay. You hear every day, almost like you hear about a black or brown man that's been wrongfully imprisoned for 20 years and got tortured or mistreated by the guards, by the inmates. Went through all types of hell for something they didn't do. You understand it when it happens to the Arabs, but you can't understand it when it happens to us.
Right.
Right? That's why the hell with this stinking country, man.
Earlier, when over 500 migrants rushed the border past National Guard troops to turn themselves into Border Patrol. El Paso's district attorney.
So imagine that. What did that scripture say, carnal? He had put forth his hands as such that be at peace with thee. They rushed the border to turn themselves in. They didn't even rush the border to fight. And they're over here treating them like they're trying to invade, trying to harm them. They came to turn themselves in, man. Ain't that something?
Resisting arrest.
Right.
Confirming one migrant was detained after assaulting a National Guardsman.
But we cannot tolerate people thinking that they can assault.
And that's what they do, carnal. They don't treat us like that to make it seem like we're animals. When you just said the brothers when they go turn themselves in, all they have to do is let them go back through to Mexico, and they rush them down. So now we have this story, and it makes it seem, that the brothers were evading arrest or were resisting arrest or what have you. What makes them seem like they're criminals or animals. When these brothers are like, man, we messed up. You caught us. Right. Let us go back to our country. No sweat. No, they rushed them and took them down, and they had to put a fight against them.
Right. Not even that, Kadnan. Here's what's messed up, right? They did that, and people don't understand the hell that our Raza goes through to come over here. Y'all talk about they got to get in line. They cutting. If they're cutting you in line, don't you think they earned the right to cut you in line? Let me tell you something. You got in line. Did you have to suffer any type of hell to get in line? Did you have to watch your friends get unalived? Did you have to get robbed? Did you have to get assaulted? Did you have to suffer disease? Did you have to go through all types of hellish conditions walking all the way down from South America to come over here? Or did you get in that line luxuriously? If you had any sense of decency, any sense of kindness, you would let that brother cut you in line. You would see that he's in need. You would see that sister with her kids is in need. And you would let them cut you in line if that's the case. But no, what did America train us to be? Selfish. To only care about ourselves, man. On purpose. And I understand I could only hold it against you for so much to realize that the reason why a lot of y'all think the way you do is because of that Christian church. Right? Because of America. Because you're afraid. Right? You thinking speaking against your own, America will finally respect us. And we'll live fine. That's what y'all think.
Patrol can assault our troopers and get away with it. You can't do that. You can't.
U.S. Border Patrol agents were not involved in the incidents. Congresswoman Veronica Escobar saying the Texas National Guard lacked the expertise and resources to handle these situations.
An example of what happens when,
as I stated, look at who Look at who they get to speak against us, carnal. This is who they use.
Create an ad hoc immigration law enforcement entity that is untrained, undermanned, and under-resourced to do the job that is being done today by the U.S. Border Patrol.
Escobar adding that Border Patrol had no issue taking those same group of migrants into custody. Texas Governor Greg Abbott took to social media to say that they're reinforcing and redoubling their efforts, adding that they have instructed Texas DPS to arrest any illegal immigrant involved in criminal trespassing or the destruction of property. Reporting from the U.S.-Mexico border, Jesus Baltazar, KTSM 9 News.
Of course, they get that sister to speak, right, and to condemn us, right, to applaud the Border Patrol, to applaud the troops, and talk about how undermanned and very little resources they have, man. And that's the problem, carnal. This is what we face. This is how we're treated, man. And this is how our people react to it in favor of America, right? That's the problem, man. And until that starts to change, until people like her start to, not fold and not speak against their own, we're going to keep having situations like this, man. Raza, what I'll tell you is that you cannot believe in America. You cannot love America. You have to love your people, man. That's what y'all need to do, man. I'm not telling you to go pick up arms and harm anybody. But what I am telling you is to love your brother as yourself. Don't vote. Voting does nothing for us, man. Don't join Congress. Don't be in their Senate and be a senator or representative for them. It does nothing for us, man. But rather invest in your people. Love your people. More importantly, come to the ISUPK under Commanding General Yohana. Pay your tithes. That's what you do. We'll house these people, man. We'll house the Raza that comes in looking for help, man. That's what we do. We can do it. Y'all don't want to do it. We'll do it, man. But still, like, Kanala, that was about it for tonight, man. I don't know if there was anything you wanted to drop.
Nala, carnal. The water.
No, the water you cannot for always, helping out with me, man. Is there anything you wanted to close out with and say?
Nah, just to add what you were saying, carnal, just to kind of backtrack a little bit, when you were saying that, when you were speaking about, we complain about, them cutting in line. The reason why you complain about brothers cutting in line is because you don't have no brotherhood. And one thing in the ISUPK, you're gonna learn to make sure that the brother that's under you, or the lowest ranking man, you know what I mean, because we got rank in here, according to the scriptures as well. But you're gonna make sure that a sister is just coming in, a brother that's just coming in, cleaning themselves up. That's what these brothers is doing. They coming into America, trying to clean themselves up, and you should have the best interest in mind. And one thing, you're not going to learn that anywhere else. But in the ISUPK, we learned that if that brother if that brother's down, I'm down. If I'm up, that brother's going to be up. You know what I'm saying? And one thing in America, because the oppressor, he has a spirit on him that he's willing to take his own out. And that's the spirit that Blacks and Latinos carry, that we're willing to take our own out. Why? Because they see and they hear how immigrants come into America, and then they save up, they hustle hard, and they buy a car, then they buy a house, and they've been in America, but America has taught you to slumber. You get high, you know what I'm saying? You're not doing anything. And then you want to complain about somebody who wants to come over here, clean themselves up, and do something better for their life. But of course, they still don't have the wisdom and knowledge of the Lord. But imagine if they did. Imagine if they did have, everything that they're gaining in America, they're gonna share with their brothers. And that's one thing in the ISUPK. If a brother's in need, he could hit me up, and best believe if I got it, I'm gonna give it to him. And the same thing, I know that if I hit up a brother, and I'm in need, I know that brother is gonna give it to me too.
Right.
But in America, you know, that spirit does not exist because the oppressor, who is their God, has a spirit of, you know, if like how Malakma was saying, if independence, you just worried about yourself, you worry about, you know, your job, that somebody's gonna come and take your job. That's what they complain about. You're so caught up in the routine and all these things, and you worry about somebody who can hustle better than you taking your position. You think that you're gonna be in that position forever, but you know, if you're not doing anything to help your brother and sister while you're in that position, the Lord's gonna take that position from you, and He's gonna give it to a brother who will do something. Now, you know, it's up to you to have your people's best interests in mind.
Right.
You know, and kind of that's it.
So, like, I'm gonna close out with this scripture right here to everything you were just saying.
Right.
Let me just share real quick. This is Leviticus. No, this is why you should let your brother cut in line if they're going through hell. What the Bible says? The Bible says this: if the Leviticus 23 and 30, 25 and 35, right? And if thy brother be waxing poor and fallen in decay with thee, then thou shalt relieve him. Yea, though he be a stranger or a sojourner, that he may live with thee. Right?
Right.
I understand a lot of y'all are iffy about letting a stranger live with you, but you know what you could do? You can have compassion towards that brother. You see he's waxing poor. You should relieve him. Feed him. Clothe him. You know what I mean? That's what we do. We feed these brothers and sisters. We clothe them. We give them food, water. We have our food programs. We have our food drives, man. We go out to the borders. We go help them. We have our missions, man. We do more than just yell in street corners, man. We out there helping our people. Because that's what the Bible tells us to do. That's what Christ did during his time. A lot of y'all speak against the undocumented migrants, and y'all don't understand that y'all not doing what the Bible says. And a lot of y'all are diehard Christians. I'm sure y'all stand with America per your Christian church. But your pastor's not teaching you what the Bible says, man. And this is the proof right here, because the fact that y'all got that attitude towards our raza is the proof that you don't follow the Bible. Right? So that's what y'all should take heed and pay attention to. But with that, man, that concludes tonight's episode, man. We'll be back again next week for more topics. We'll talk about more of the issues that plague us, the solutions. What can we do? Raza issues, man. You can come join us and have a conversation with us, man. With that, man, I'm gonna close tonight's show, and we'll be back at it. So with that, man, I'm gonna throw some promos for the upcoming Passover. That's another thing, right? I'm gonna say this real quick, Carnal, right? For all y'all listening out there, man, this past weekend was not the Lord's Passover. The Lord's Passover is April 20th, man. I was about to say March, Salakia. March 23rd was not the Lord's Passover, man. The Lord's Passover is April 20th in North Carolina, man. So with that, man, we closing it out. Let me see. Let me close out with these promos, man.
Hey, Shalom Kanal. Yabashim Shabakata.
With that, Raza, hey, Shalom Kanal Shabakata. With that, Raza, Shalom. Yahweh en el nombre de Yahweh Shai les bendigan. We'll be back at it again next week. Passover, the 55th Passover, man, April 20th. Y'all be there, man. This is, come join us, man, and see what Carnalismo is all about, man. And this is the solution. This is the answer for the Raza. With that, man, Shalom, Israel.
The Passover. Hell yeah. April 20th. Yeah. Shit, I'm going too. Let's go. Everything good? Yeah, everything's wild, man. We just headed to the Passover, man. Okay, come shoot. I mean, if we leave now, we can make it in time for the lamb slaughter. Hell yeah, let's go. All right. Hey, what's going on? What's good? Man, we're going to Passover, April 20th. Oh, man, they having an all-black party? Hell yeah. Oh, damn, I got my wares of tears, man. I'll be straight. Man, let's go there. All right, let's get it. Oh, Salaki, I don't know. What's going on? Everything good, man. Listen, you ready to get the Passover? We got to roll. Let's go.
Oh, yeah, Passover. Shoot, I had some questions I needed to ask General Hyman in the scripture breakdown, too.
Damn, Cat, what's going on? The Lord's 55th annual Passover is going down, man. You ready to rock? Hell yeah. And we got the Feast of Unleavened Bread, too. All right, I'll give it for sure. We're about to roll. Hey, look, before we go, everybody pay that $200, right? Let's get ready to roll, all right? Wait, sir. They saying that all flights are down. Damn, for real? Yeah, still on the news.
Damn, Salaki, ain't no more gas neither. We can't even get in no car.
Okay, hold on. Let me think, Aki. Let me think. Damn, okay. Planes down, gas gone. Man, anybody got any ideas? What y'all think?
I got it. Snowboard.
No. And stop playing. Hey, listen, Aki. The only logical thing we can do is we gotta start walking now. You hear me? Now, one, how long would it take us to get there? 37 days and 23 hours. All right, for sure. Lots is out. How much time we got left till Passover?
42 days, 14 hours.
All right, man. We gotta move out now. Let's roll. Okay. But wait, they said it's gonna rain for 40 days and 40 nights, sir. Well, I guess we're gonna walk in the rain then.
If you wanna get down, put your boots on, start stepping. Brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. Brotherhood is a weapon. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood is a weapon. If I die for my niggas, it'll be an honor and a blessing. Better watch how you stepping, cause brotherhood I lay my life down right now for all my sisters and brothers, because I love them. I see them dapping and hug them. It's amazing to see how well we